Why is it hard for chosen ones, highly sensitive people, and empaths to have friends? I know me, I check all three boxes. I'm an empath, I'm a chosen one, and I'm a highly sensitive person. And I know it's very hard for me to have friends. And what it's come down to is that a lot of times we see the things that people try to hide. People we may call our friends or associates or family members. We see things that people are going through. We can see it, we can feel it, we know it, whether it's spoken or unspoken. And we see how it affects these people's lives. And a lot of times we want to help, or we can help. And these people are not ready for our help. A lot of times people are not emotionally mature to handle this help, or they're in this space right now where, that whatever they're going through is their identity. So they can't get rid of it because now they have to lose their identity and come up with, who they are now. So as a chosen one, you're put in this box. And it's hard to be placed in this box because your initial thing is to help. Your initial thing is when you see something wrong, try to make it right, try to fix it, try to help it out. And when you're friends with certain people, they don't want that help. They could be good people, they just don't want that help. They're not in that place and time. So now, your unsolicited advice or your advice that you try to give to your friends or family members or close ones, that advice that you try to give them to help them out, it falls on deaf ears. And a lot of times they resent you for it because you can see the true them, the one that they try to hide. You see past the mask that they have put up, the mask for survival. You see past it. And like I said, they will resent you for that because now they feel exposed. It's not your fault. It's just what comes with being, chosen. It comes with it's just what comes with being, a highly sensitive person, an empath. That's just what comes with it. And these tools, these things that you have, these skills, gifts, and abilities that you have, to be completely honest with you, are for your benefit and for the benefit of people who are ready to receive that. If these people are not ready to receive it, then you're casting your pearls before swine, no matter how much you care about them. And I've been in that position before where I've cared about friends, close ones, deeply, and I can see the pain that they're going through. And if I tried to give them advice or try to help them, or even an encouraging word, it would either fall on deaf ears, or a form of resentment will start building up. They'll ghost you, they'll run away, all type of things. And it's not necessarily that they are disliking you now. It's just they really don't like the position that they're in. So everything that they do towards you is just a projection of how they really feel. And that's just what comes with it. So I remember it came to a point in my life where if I couldn't give you unsolicited advice as a friend, if I see where you slipping and I'd be like, hey friend, we'll pick this up or do this or do this and do this. If I feel like I could not do that with you, or if I wasn't open enough to receive it from you, then we couldn't be friends. We could be associates or we could be cool, but as far as considering you a friend, no, I couldn't consider you a friend. And that's what comes with it, because friends are supposed to be able to tell friends, hey, you slipping here, or pick this up, or, you're supposed to be able to help your friends. And if people's ego, because that's what it is their ego. If their ego is too big or too protective of them to really open up, then you're really casting your pearls before swine. Now, this doesn't mean that you necessarily, cut off contact or you don't deal with these people or you treat them wrong or rude. But they're not your main priority. They're not your main focus. You don't put the label on them as friend, until they're ready to come around and receive that. Some people do, some people don't. But like I said, that's one thing I noticed as a chosen one in friends. Sometimes you know too much. And you trying to help them is like you exposing them, and they can't handle that. On the flip side, another reason why chosen ones and highly sensitive people, mainly chosen ones, can't have friends, or it's hard for chosen ones to make friends, is because the depths that you go throughout life, conversations, energy, feelings, emotions, these depths that you live on is too deep for people. The care and sensitivity that you have for the world and for others is too deep for some people. Some people can't match you on that level. And it's okay. That don't mean that you dim your light for these people. No, that doesn't mean that at all. You don't dim your light for these people because the divine gave you that light for a purpose, for a reason. It's for the collective of the world, the people who are ready. You know, like I said, I found myself sometimes in friendships where I've had to dumb myself down. I had to dim my light. Well, I didn't have to, but I chose to in order to keep these people around. And that was the wrong move. You're not supposed to dim your light because your light is supposed to be the destination for people who are lost or for people who are seeking light. You know, like the boat buoy in the ocean or in the water, whether it's the light, like the lighthouse, and people know where to go to, where to travel to. It's the same thing. That's you as the chosen one. You are that light. You are that destination point for people. And sometimes these people that you consider friends or family members, acquaintances, and things of that sort, and your light shines bright, you were put in these people's lives sometimes to be a catalyst. You were put in these people's lives to see that there are true good people. You know, there are true, genuine-hearted good people out here. A lot of times that's why you were put in these people's lives. You know, to show them true love, unconditional love. To show them, you know, that everybody's not evil. Everybody's not out to get people. You know, you were there to genuinely show them that is a brighter day, that you can smile. So sometimes these people weren't necessarily supposed to learn that lesson then. You know, they were supposed to come in contact with that lesson and then utilize that lesson later on down the line, a lot of times after you have left the situation. So, one more thing I want to talk about as a chosen one when it comes to friendships is that sometimes we make friends with people, or we are people's friends. A lot of times it's because they have seen us before we seen them, and they liked our energy, and they needed our energy unconsciously needed the energy, unconsciously wanted the energy, and not in the energetic vampire type way, you know, but they knew that your energy was something that they were missing. The type of person that you were was something that was missing. So they actually sought you out, you know, to be your friend. A lot of people don't really know that. It was something about you. You might have been cool, popular, or just the energy that you had, or the energy that you were projecting out was one that was attractive for people to be attracted to. And they sought to be your friend because of that, which is a beautiful thing on your part. But what happens is when people are not adequate enough, or people don't measure up enough to actually fulfill the role of being your friend. So that's when they stop being your friend. That's when they, you know, ghost or hide or make other friends, you know, other friends with people who are not as high a vibration as you. Because it's easier for them to resonate with them, or to live in that energy, or to not be challenged to grow. And it's not like you sit here and you challenge people to grow. No, it's just by how you live your life. You just naturally challenge people to grow because you're always growing. You're always wanting to do better. You always want to raise the stakes. You know, you always want to raise the level at what you're doing. And some people are not ready for that. So that's when they stop being your friend. But initially, the reason why a lot of people choose to be your friend or want to be your friend or make that connection with you is because, like I said, unconsciously they see or know that is something that they want or missing in their life. And that's why I say sometimes a lot of these friendships or relationships are not long-term, but you play a significant reason and point in people's lives, whether they tell you or not. It's to show them how a high, energetic, caring person really behaves and acts. How true unconditional love really is. You know, you can even have unconditional love for somebody who's done you wrong and you're no longer with, but you have unconditional love for them because you know where they've been, you know what they've gone through, you know who they are. Even if they may have done you wrong, that's real unconditional love. Don't mean that you necessarily will call them, check up on them, or, buddy with them or anything of that sort. No, but you have love for the genuine person, the genuine people. You don't get caught up on the hurt because the hurt is not personal about you. It's more so what they got going on. And it just so happens that you're inflicted. Only the real's gonna really know that. When you get hurt, it's not because of you or not anything personal. It's a lot of times just a projection. And you were just a casualty of it. Other insecurities, other things that they haven't healed. So the 3 reasons why it's hard for chosen ones to make friends. I hope this could help somebody. This is Rich. Y'all be safe out there. Love and blessings.